We are on an adventure to Orlando Reads Books, a signing at the Royal Caribbean Resort. So we're here specifically to see our friend Megan, but also to just generally explore everything that Orlando Reads Books has to offer, of which there is a lot. Look, we found a Megan Fuentes! Woo! It's so exciting.
Oh my gosh, this is like, it's a wild time.
Yeah. Good. So this is the talented Megan Fuentes, also sometimes known as Emma Fontaine.
Dun, dun, dun.
And check out her whole selection of books. Wow. All right, so tell us, what kind of books do you write?
All right, so as Megan, I write historical romances, and I'll be expanding to historical cozy mysteries soon. And then as Emma, I write fairy tale retellings that all take place on the continent of Winidor. That's a whole magical world. All of the stories will eventually connect, that kind of thing.
Yep. And there will be links down in the description to all of Megan's amazing stuff.
Thank you so much.
I have made another stop on the Orlando Reads Books train, and I'm purchasing stuff because somebody thought it would be a good idea to bring me to a place where I could buy books. So this is Deborah Jess and her beautiful booth. She's signing the books that I bought right now. And when she finishes, oh yeah, look at them, so pretty. I'll have her explain a little bit about the world she writes and the beautiful books that have now sucked me in. How long have you been writing?
I've been writing since 2003.
2003. And you are clearly prolific.
Thank you.
What sort of books do you write? Like, what are these that we're looking at?
These are science fiction romances, okay? And these are my paranormal superhero style romances.
All right. So romance with some action thrown in, you
Lots
said?
of action, adventure, lots of running around, lots of explosions, blowing up things. These have spaceships. These take place out in space. These are in a contemporary city on Earth. Probably the United States, because I'm native to the United States, but it's not. The city does not really exist. It is a fake city.
All right.
So Thunder City, and then the Andromeda Galaxy.
Yeah. So I will put a link down here to her website. You guys can check it out. I have made yet another stop, and not a purchase, but that is just because I'm about to do a custom order on Etsy. So this is C.G. Powell, who writes beautiful books, but if we're honest, the reason we stopped here is because of the book swag shop. Look at these tiny little books, and then they get smaller, and then they get even smaller. I don't know how it happens.
And then they get even smaller.
And then they get even smaller. Oh, so cute. All right, so how did you get started doing this?
I actually did this before I did that.
Oh.
I've always did a lot of crafting. It's what I like to do. And when I started writing, I started making the shift towards having things that maybe an author might want to have on their table for conventions. And I absolutely love making the books. I do full-size book bindings because I love doing it, but I love doing this stuff even more. All the little mini stuff.
So if you're an author and I sent you like my book cover, you could make little tiny books?
Absolutely.
That's so cool. That's so neat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's got a wide variety of types of art, a bunch of those tiny book covers, tiny little bottles full of books. And I like these like little resin collages with books in them. So I will link to the Etsy shop and also author page.
Awesome.
Just because we should mention it since we're at Orlando Reads, what sort of books do you write?
I write science fiction fantasy that are romance novels.
Okay.
And I also write science fiction eroticas.
Ooh,
So
all right.
I have a planet basically that is like, the entire planet is like Vegas.
Okay, all right.
Anything goes.
That's where these come from, clearly.
Yeah, the two right there.
Yeah, I can
Definitely.
tell from the aesthetics. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thank you so much.
This is probably the last stop because I've made it to the back corner, but it is without a doubt, and don't tell Megan I said this because she's literally my friend, my favorite stop so far. So, this is Zackary. Chapinsky? No, Chachinsky?
3 little words makes one big one.
Chopchinsky.
Hey,
Chopchinsky.
hey, there you go.
Yeah, all right. So tell us a little bit about yourself and the books you've got.
So, only thing you need to know about me is I'm narcissistic and beautiful. So, I definitely don't take things seriously, so my books definitely don't take themselves seriously. So if you like anything where it feels like you're in a hyperfixated ADHD like trip or breakdown, that's definitely going to be the story. Snark, sass, it's got it all. Fast-paced, action-packed. Again, the books definitely don't take themselves seriously, so if you want just a good time and a good read, I mean, check it out.
Okay, and you've got 2 series. One of them is Gabriel's Adventures Through Time, and the other one, what is Hall of Doors,
It's the
right?
Hall of Doors series, yep.
Okay. And if you were gonna just give me a little snippet for each series.
So, the Gabrielle series, you were close, is a 4-book completed series, and it follows my main character, Gabrielle, who one day she finds a very old silver bracelet in an antique shop, and she puts it on, and she's projected 500 years in the past and has to relive the lives of the women that have worn the bracelet. It's steeped heavily into paranormal storylines and druid lore, so she gets into a lot of trouble because she starts breaking a lot of the laws of nature. Webley and the World Machine in the Hall of Doors series, you're going to follow Adal and Arya as they are modern teenagers in modern time, and they find a strange coin that I actually have some. I had these minted out of bronze. That takes them to a very strange place and gets them into a whole mess of trouble as you follow this whole series that's steeped in portal fiction. So each book takes them into a completely different world where they meet new people and get into new problems. And again, sarcasm, sassiness, action, adventure.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Between my roommates and I, we now own the first of both of these series. So there will be a link down there to the website. You should definitely check them out. If that pitch didn't win you over, you read books wrong. So absolutely highly recommend. And when I finish reading them, I'll let you know how it was. Had an absolute blast at Orlando Reads Books. And now I have a bunch of books that I need to read. So I'm going to settle in and do some reading. And I'll see you tomorrow.